Hello. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect daily news in a way you did not know that you could use. Thank you so much for those listening in over the radio waves at gcpr.live, those tuning in on Substack, YouTube, and TikTok. No Facebook today because Facebook doesn't seem to like you, girl. We're on timeout for 30 days. I don't really know what I did, but screw them. Okay, they're missing out on the fun. All right. Now it is Friday, so that means we're going to discuss all of the news. Maybe you could use, maybe you cannot use from all over social media. And y'all all right? Y'all good? Cause it's been going down. Hey, Nana J, all over the social media streets, like all week long. Y'all said, you know what, we're going to end 2025 with a biggity bang bang, and we're going to roll in 2026. Okay? Like we already on fire. Okay? You came in like a wrecking ball. All right? Hey sis. Hey tea time. So yeah, ooh, let's I guess let's kick this off because we know the fumbling bumbling uh baby daddy only, damn near getting to double digits, misogynistic Cam Newton decided to invite the grand poobah of bad girls onto his podcast. Now, I don't know what made a male narcissist think it was going to be a good idea to bring a female narcissist onto the show, especially a female narcissist that has no problem being publicly and overtly colorist, being disrespectful and kind of slave masterish towards Black women, and heralding a, a TV franchise that's publicly known and confirmed for essentially holding heifers hostage. And he thought that she was going to come in and kowtow to him. Child. Just listen to this nugget here, okay?
Cam, how you fumble the ball? Like, come on, bro. Like, I want to get into that. Like, Cam, like, at one point, you got to understand, like, there's no way in life that you can take an L and you're a superstar. You're the #1 quarterback. Bro, what the? AJ. You get all the way to the Super Bowl and don't get a ring? Delusional. I want to talk about that.
Talk to me.
I know I'm an athlete. You know, I was an open 400 runner. I ran the 452
I heard you was in
seconds.
the Junior
52
Olympics.
seconds flat. I've never took it out. I ran with Allison Felix. I ran with all the best of the best. I went to USC. You know what it is. Like, you can't get there and not perform. It's up. But don't lose. Your mom ever told you if you got in a fight at school and they hit you first, what you gonna do back? Yeah, I know your mama told you that. Wait, because you're a little soft a little bit. I know, that's what. So, have you been in any other real fights in your life? I want to know for real. Like, just tell me if you've been in a fight before.
No.
And no one's ever tried you, like in the like not in the locker room, but I mean that sounds crazy, huh? I meant like one of your teammates ever been like, you didn't throw me the ball and it's up. And no one tried to press you and you ain't out of like.
See, that's the thing.
Come on, Cam. I don't want to do this. Like,
we need to discuss, not yell.
Oh, I yelled. I'm sorry.
No. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying if you feel.
So you've never swung. And have you ever been in a fight with anyone that's been a teammate of yours, not on the opposite team, teammates? Don't lie. Like, I hate liars.
Now, real quick, let's not forget that in 2025, I believe, Cam Newton got into a fight with a mascot. In 2024, it was making the rounds on social media. Cam Newton getting into a fight with multiple people at a junior league football event. But we gonna act like we don't fight. The definition of alpha man is changing way too quick for me. I don't know about y'all, okay? Because before it was, yeah, I'm a man, I'll fight everybody, pull it up, I'll fight you with my bare hands, and I'll bite a bird's Peter whacker off. And now it's, girl, I don't fight, I do brunch. Fighting is so ghetto and so low brow. Like, what is it? Like, do your balls hang low? Do they wobble to the floor? Like, what is it? What's going on? SD, you just witnessed a female narcissist pick up a male narcissist and put him firmly back down in his place while he was trying to lie to save face. But she didn't stop there.
Cordell, should I get out of here? Am I doing a good job?
You're doing an amazing
Okay.
job.
What happened? How did you get... What happened for real? And then, but the most part is, how did you feel? You fumbled?
Yeah.
Like right on the line, like when you could have just ran in or something? Cam, they always said you were the best. What I remember, how you dropped the ball, nigga?
I don't know, man.
Now I remember that Super Bowl. Okay, I remember that Super Bowl. Not gonna lie. That Super Bowl caused some arguments between myself and a few male friends and family members of mine because my assessment watching it was that mofo was afraid to get hit. And they're like, no, he's not. He made it all the way to the professional level. Okay. There are professional athletes in every category of sports that's afraid of contact, that's afraid to get hit. It is what it is. You know, there's a child right now. The folks don't be like, oh, they got hands. Oh, they're so fast. And that's what they want to do. They don't want to get hit. I want you to think, like, you ever thought, you know what? As a career, I want to get hit. Like, even boxers don't want to get hit. That's the whole premise. Avoiding getting hit. Cam is the type of person that wants people to fear him because he's known as a football player. He's one of those that wants everybody to look at every football player as if they play, as if they're a lineman, whether on the defensive line or offensive line. Like they give out the hits. Bruh, no, brother, brother, what? No. But his ego got chopped and screwed. Like, I need you to read the room. This is why I say it is important. If you're going to have guests on, if you're going to interview, especially if you're going to be a podcast bro or you're going to be a pick me, you need to research who you're having on. Now, I choose for my standalone podcast who I bring on. Some of you know, some of you don't know. I am a part of an ensemble, okay? On the Villain's View. There are times where I will suggest someone to come on, and sometimes they're like, oh yeah, bring them on. And sometimes, you know, but there's still preparation. Now, have people messed up and not researched your girl and invited me on to the yes. Most recently, towards the end of I don't think this person is ever going to invite me back onto anything they ever do. They're going to continue to try me from a distance because they tried to try me yesterday, but it was funny. Okay, it's like a fly at the end of its lifespan trying to outwit a bald eagle. Okay, it's just not gonna happen. But they brought me on And I guess they thought that I was going to be their token black person. And yeah, it just didn't go like that. I'm gonna be me. I don't care whose house it is. I'm gonna be me, okay? And if you got low self-esteem, a low IQ, don't come around me. I'm gonna hurt your feelings for real. Uh, mm, mm, mm. Don't do that. And I mean, this same person has tried to force themselves into spaces where I've been, and they thought that they was gonna shine because they looked at the complexion of some people that was in the room and was like, "Yeah, we gonna be kindred spirits," and they was like, "No, ho, you dumb." My tagline is, "I come to sell the records for a reason, cause I can sell the records for real." Just thank you for joining us here on the Taz Effect. Yeah. Oh, and Carolina, we see you too. Come on, Carolina. Yeah. So, don't let's. They were shook at. Baby, you can't do what I do. Right. Very David Ruffin-esque. Okay. Very David Ruffin coded. Minus the D-rungs. Okay. Minus the reliance on illicit prescriptions. Okay. I survive off of Ristic Cups and Mountain Dew. Now, multiple people sent me this next one. And I did not know how to properly describe it. I could just give you the premise and say, hey, have you ever thought why, when people talk about ghosts, they always refer to white people? That would seem like, oh, okay, we can have a conversation on this. No, 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 no. No, I need you to hear this because multiple of y'all sent this in. Once again, I really need to reconsider having a public email address. For those that don't know what the public email address, probably those listening in on GCPR radio, it is Ask Taz, Taz as in zebra, 77 at gmail.com. Who child, okay? You can send in your request for topics, especially on Fridays, and for Reddit stories for Porch of No Judgment. Oh, y'all be taking me through there. But take a listen.
Have you ever noticed that like all ghosts are like white people? you never hear like somebody talking about like a big black woman. He's like,
bro, that's good. That's because Hispanics and black people, we know how to just get over it, bro. We died, like, come on, bro. Like, we died. What are we gonna do? Just stick around here. You know what I'm saying? We gonna have some new people move in. We got to deal with these motherfuckers. Man, come on, man. Let's go over to the other side. Let's go over to the other side. Deal what we gotta deal with. You feel me? Shit. These white people be like, nah, it's my house.
This is my shit. Don't be touching that shit.
My daddy gave me this house in 1907. God damn it. Fuck all that, man. Shit, we probably didn't even own the house we died in. We probably rented that motherfucker.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Now, there are people in the comment section like, that can't be the case. You know, black people would be haunting white people. Da, 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 da. First of all, black people are everywhere y'all want to be. I keep telling y'all, black people are the American Express of people. Number one. Number two, black people have always been very spiritual people. Not so much religious, but spiritual. Okay? Keep up with me. Number one. Number two, where do white people have to go? Don't get offended. Listen to what I'm saying. Where do white people have to go? And it's not all white people, okay? You ain't heard nobody going, you know what? That ghost was helping me out, okay? Casper don't count. Because we say Casper is friendly, but is Casper really friendly? Because Casper hang out with some mofos that ain't all that nice, okay? We'll come back to that on another day. It's not like an abolitionist or a true activist is stuck in the ghost realm. Okay, I think that's that purgatory that y'all love to believe in and hold tight to. Okay, and you don't really hear white people refer to their deceased as their ancestors. Like they individualize themselves and compartmentalize themselves out of that. But where problematic white people gonna go? Because you know they're gonna get to whatever pearly gates they believe in and want to speak to the manager, want to tell whatever deity they ascribe to their entire mortal existence that they were wrong about the rules and regulations that they were supposed to follow. So once again, where they gonna go? And white people, for real, white people act like they forever own stuff. Look at white people right now. They'll tell you, well, you know, in 1723, my great grandfather, whose ashes we threw away in 1734 because, you know, he owned this corner of the corner here at 35th and Ryan. So, I feel like just like the game Monopoly, you should be paying us some sort of stipend. Reparations? No, that's not a reparation, that's a stipend. That's different from, you know, the handout that the darkies want for doing nothing. Well, what did I do to get the stipend? I was born, darling. I was born into the. No, it's not. It's not. The darkies don't have lineage. But no, I'm human. You get so I'm asking, where the white people gonna go? You got R. Kelly trapped in a closet and white problematic folks trapped in a gravitational pull. but um I have a serious topic. We got to talk about a little bit because is it actual news? Absolutely. Is it making its way around social media? Yes, multiple social media platforms. Is this making the rounds on? I was sent it from people talking about it in a few subreddits. Sent it people talking about it on Facebook, on Threads, on Twitter. Yes, I know what its adoptive stepdaddy calls it. But he likes to skeet in a gym sock and then try to impregnate women with the gym sock. So Twitter it is, and all over TikTok. And then there's a recent interview with Megyn Kelly. And when I say with Megyn Kelly, she was the one being interviewed. So we're going to get to that here in a minute to get that out of the way. I got ancestors, but there's only so many I'm willing to call upon. You know, you gotta be careful because white people be lying to their children about who their ancestors are. You call upon Grandmama Maggie thinking she was one of the good ones, and you find out she contributed to the Delectable Negroes cookbook. You got to really be careful, you know. And then every white person got that one relative that swear up and down that they are a Jeep Cherokee princess, queen, empress, because you know they think everybody has the same aristocracy that they, you know, have that hierarchy that they believe in, because they think life is a game of chess that they can't never play properly or win. But you know, they think that they're a bishop or a king, forgetting that the queen is the most powerful piece and the one that's always to be protected. But really, they're just a pawn. And ain't no way. And you know what? I'm gonna say this because far too in 2026, it's gonna be the year. We're gonna call this the Cat Williams year. Okay, we're gonna call this the pimp name slip back year of years. Okay, this is gonna be our best year yet. You want to know why this is gonna be our best year yet? Because this is going to be our most honest year. So let me kick this off for y'all. If you are not black, stop calling yourself a queen. And before you get offended, hear me out. You cannot be a queen if the sun can sneeze, blink, look to the left and easily defeat you. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And for the two people who truly believe that I hate white people, you can stop emailing me. I don't care. I don't care. If you think that I hate all white people, there's nothing I can do or say to change your mind. Now, I would say that I got a white refrigerator, but I don't. So, I got a white shelving unit right over here to the right of me. I got a white charge. I got two white chargers. Just kidding. I have a white assistant. Yes, Igrit, there's two people that consistently email me and says, that I hate the white people. I went looking for the hate. I couldn't find it. I'm also directionally challenged, so that might be why I can't find it. Maybe I'll stumble upon that hate in one of my adventures. I'm still going through my basic white girl phase, Storm. I do a whole lot of white people shit, okay? I call it wandering people shit, okay? Those of us that just wander in thought, okay? The follow the bouncing shining ball people, all right? That's what I did. Yeah, see, great. We're directionally challenged together. Like I said, I tried to find the hate. I went looking for it. I pulled out Waze, MapQuest, Google Maps, Apple Maps. It didn't help me. So I don't know. But I wasn't the best at Easter egg hunts growing up either. So, there's there's that. But all right, let's get into what Megyn Kelly had to say. Oh, I just realized the typo that goes to show how much I care about Megyn Kelly, because I like to label the video so I know what I'm queuing up. And just so y'all know, I type with the tips of my nails, okay? And when I don't have nails, yes, I type with the tips of my fingers. I spelled her name with 3 Ks. Whew, that subconscious is strong. But let's take a listen.
My own personal opinion is most of the allegations against him are much more complicated than the mainstream media would have you believe. And I don't think Donald Trump is a rapist or a sexual assaulter. I do think he's taken inappropriate liberties with women and gotten handsy with them in a way he's owned himself. Okay. Years ago when he was a celebrity, and it is what it is. That's the past. But it's just about so much more than that. We are talking about how many people dying at the southern border because of the invasion that we've suffered under Joe Biden. We're talking about Laken Riley, whose killer was let in under Biden. We put him on a taxpayer flight down to Georgia where he murdered her. I don't give a shit about Trump getting handsy with somebody 20 years ago. I want someone who will close the border, which he has. I want someone who will keep boys out of my daughter's sports, which he has. I want someone who will stand up to the insane DEI policies so that white kids will stop hearing in school that they're born with some original sin from which they cannot recover, which he has.
She said, I don't think Trump committed intimate assault, then describes intimate assault, then describes a bunch of stuff that's not happening, and wants her daughter protected from things that don't happen, but not from intimate assault. And let's not forget that Megyn Kelly is at a point where she's having to rebuild her career because Trump destroyed it. Trump destroyed it. Megyn Kelly had to sue a former bestie, a bromance bud, hey Walt, of Trump's for intimate harassment and assault. But she doesn't care. She cared when she needed a jury of her peers. She cared when she needed a magistrate, a judge, and attorneys to believe her. She cared when she needed her then co-workers to speak up and corroborate what she was going through. She cared when women at large spoke up regarding the utter disrespect we witnessed during a debate that she was a moderator for that Trump spewed her way. But when I say that the default damsels in distress of society do not even care about their children, that they use children the same way that conservatives use the military, I wasn't joking. This is why they sit and they'll say, well, what about when you get old? Who's going to take care of you? Baby, you're not taking care of your children now. I hope and pray that every woman, every man, every non-binary person with this train of thought that Megyn Kelly has, that when it's that time, their children reciprocate the same care. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me? Reciprocate what was put into you. Now, I've never been one to be like, oh, I expect my kids to take care of me, blah, 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 blah. No, I expect somebody to hide me. Okay, my kids are still trying to kidnap me. And they have plans for when I can't escape so easily. I don't want that, Grandpa. It's not like they're going to abuse me. No. No, they definitely want to treat me like I'm a toddler. I don't want a bedtime anymore. No. That's why I quit getting in the car with them. They'll never want to take me home. But there's more. Unfortunately. Here we go.
I don't give a shit about Trump getting handsy with somebody 20 years ago. I don't think Donald Trump is a rapist or a sexual assaulter. I want someone who will close the border, which he has. I want someone who will keep boys out of my daughter's sports, which he has. I want someone who will stand up to the insane DEI policies so that white kids will stop hearing in school that they're born with some original sin from which they cannot recover.
Now, I wanted you to hear that again because of this. Trump no longer owns beauty pageants. Trump used to own a beauty pageant for minors. Multiple confirmations have come out that he used to walk, and he said this himself, walk in on them while they were getting undressed or getting dressed. You don't want your daughter protected from that? You're saying, I don't want boys in the sports with my daughter, but you don't care? Here's the thing. Men and women, first of all, men used to be the only ones that were allowed in the United States to compete in sports. Okay, let's be real. Let's go down history lane. Okay, men were the only ones that could do it. Then women were like, I'm gonna get my Mulan on. All right. Man was like, this is somebody, they think they can keep up with us. And then women started whooping men's ass. Then they was like, you know what? We should put this in categories. It's for the women. It's for the women. We don't want to mess with their self-esteem. We don't want to mess with, we don't want to mess with our self-esteem. And also, okay, if you're going to be a transphobe, be an educated transphobe, okay? You do realize that the hormones one takes in order to physiologically transition changes you on the inside. That muscle mass, all of that, it's not there. And if you think I'm joking, please explain to me the rate of cisgendered men being able to, quote unquote, easily kill with their bare hands trans women. If nothing changes, and trans women are on the same physical level, strength level as cis men, and some of y'all transphobic cisgendered women have been in fights with trans women and didn't know. Y'all so worried about somebody being here, there, and everywhere. And oh, y'all don't care about the gender neutral bathrooms in these homes that you take your children into or you go into, and you don't know these people. You met this person 5 minutes ago and you willing to take yourself and your children, your nieces and nephews, your godchildren, everybody to these homes with gender neutral bathrooms. Y'all worried about all this nasty stuff going on, but y'all look for family bathrooms and gender neutral bathrooms out in public so y'all can go do the uchi coochie wally wally up in there out in public at the Target, at the Walmart, at the Cracker Barrel. You think we don't hear y'all? Y'all could at least make sure you don't get none of the stainage on you, Monica Lewinsky. Y'all quick to sexualize everything and everyone while y'all out here doing the nastiness. But you don't have a problem looking at a little boy or a little girl talking about how they're going to be a baddie when they grow up, how they're going to be breaking hearts when they grow up, talking about, oh, they going to marry my daughter when they... Are you serious? People in LGBTQIA plus community are not out here basically arranging relationships and marriages with their children no sooner that they can walk and talk. But y'all are. But they'll sit around here talking about it's so medieval that this community and this they still believe in arranged marriages. What do you think that you're doing by pre-planning your best friend's child marrying your child? You out here assuming that because somebody is dating, that means that they bumping undercarriages and swapping undercarriage fluids. I got called weird and got the side eye for so many years. When I told people, because I was asked, because the rumors that were flying around, I was like, oh, I wish y'all knew. I was like, I do not believe that just because I date somebody that I have to be physically intimate with them. Not to mention, intimacy means something a bit different to everybody. You have to define it for yourself. I've been in years-long relationships and we've never swapped undercarriage juices. That's not the prerequisite. That's not the prerequisite. Some of y'all willing to get bippity bopped on top of the head because he got you to achieve the big O. Okay. Absolutely not. Now, we're coming up off of the Christmas season. Okay. I'm sure y'all, heard about saw Elf on the Shelf. Some of y'all might have elves on the shelves in your house. I don't know why y'all want to create messes that you got to clean up, but you like it. Somebody love it. Not me. I think it's ridiculous, but okay. I think there's better ways to teach your kids how to behave, because I don't think that's what it teaches them. But yeah, who am I? But did you know that there's a Trump version of this going around the internet, the interwebs? Didn't think you did. Let's have some fun with this.
It's a photo of Trump walking through like a field of flowers, and it says, "You've heard of Elf on a Shelf." And then the comment section did not disappoint, so we're going to go through it. So you've heard of Elf on a Shelf, but have you heard of Pedo in a Meadow? Shit smear on the frontier. Poopy pants in the plants. Abuse of powers in the flowers.
Wow.
Arterial clots in the forget-me-nots. Dementia on an adventure. Disaster in the pasture. Theoretical in the botanical. Putin's pawn on the lawn.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
People are so good. Brain dead in a flower bed. Man child in the wild.
I love this.
Cunt on a hunt.
Oh, that's good.
Insurrection in the flower section.
That's so good.
Lard in the yard. Cognitive decline on a vine. Crazy in the daisies. This is the last page I got. Zero morals amongst the florals. Bubba blower with no lawnmower.
No.
Looking for Bill on the hill. Skid mark in the park. Small peen in the green.
No.
Labial neck folds in the marigolds. And tiny handsies in the pansies. And it went on and on.
That makes me feel so patriotic.
Yes.
That makes me realize, listener, we're still here.
I'm finding it. First of all, y'all are the bestest. Y'all are the bestest. There were 6 different people who sent me that. I'm sorry, I cannot remember all 6 that sent it to me. And that came through email. So I don't want to read the names through the email because you may not have those names attached to your social media. But thank you. That was great. I love Fridays. I live for Fridays. Now, okay, so yesterday I was doing some research regarding upcoming trials, like infamous trials coming up in 2026, what we need to really be paying attention to, and some stories that I will be closely following in the beginning of 2026, right? And I needed a little bit of a break because I realized it was starting to get late last night. So I was like, let me scroll to kind of calm my brain down so I can actually fall asleep. And, you know, those that live with insomnia, with a little bit of the tism, you know, you got to, or you'll never get to sleep. And I found this. Now, y'all remember the American Eagle Sydney Sweeney campaign. Hey, thought you ate. Love you for life. And how white supremacists were trying to defend Sydney Sweeney, going, yeah, they're talking about the actual genes, but, you know, arguably, Sydney Sweeney is quite hot. I was like, I know I wear glasses. Okay, and I switched up my glasses quite a bit to look at things. Like I'm not saying I am saying she ugly. Y'all can be mad at me if you want to. You can come out the bag on me all you want to. I'm saying she ugly. But it appears I'm not alone in this assessment. Not sure what I'm talking about? Want to hear it? Here you go.
But what are we talking about by hot? Like good looking? Like some people think that like Sydney Sweeney is extremely attractive.
I would say, I don't want to scandalize anybody, a married man. I would say Sydney Sweeney is very attractive.
I would say that she's pretty malformed. Her upper maxilla is extremely recessed, right? She's got the eyes of doom with no infraorbital support. She's really not that much of a looker in her face. I think that a lot of people with brains find her attractive because of her body.
You're telling me that that if a guy finds Sydney Sweeney attractive, he's got to have brain?
I think that she's above average in looks, but certainly not that like, you know.
No, you said she's got a sunken suborbital. I forget the words that you said.
Yeah, she's got a recessed infraorbitals and a recessed upper maxilla.
You're telling me you go to a bar.
I'm just saying she's not the pinnacle of looks that I'm talking about.
Yo, what is wrong with this nigga, bruh? Why is he scientifically frying her, bruh? Bro, these looks like some niggas is starting to get out of hand, bro. Oh my gosh.
Patrick, I'll get to you in just a second. Let me wrap up today's show. Here's the thing, white people. I'm gonna let y'all in on something, okay? There's a subset of the Black community that does this also when it comes to lighter skinned individuals. That they just look at the complexion, and no matter what the person looks like, okay, they could look like a flying funky monkey. They could look like the most dilapidated gremlin, okay, that had the most water poured on them. It was fed the most after midnight. Be like, oh, they're so cute. Y'all tend to do the same thing when somebody has blonde hair. Okay, they can have a hand growing out the side of their neck that looks molded and decrepit as hell. And y'all, because a lot of y'all, and one thing that I've noticed this since the mid to late 1980s. A lot of times, white people, you don't look at the face. Y'all will look at a body. Like somebody can have a bunch of plastic surgery. Like a woman right now could go tomorrow and get a new set of boobs and a new booty. And y'all be like, oh, she looks so young. She looks so good because you're not looking at the face. Because in the face, she could look 175 years old. She could look like somebody dug her up 2 hours before. And y'all, you look at teeth, yeah? But y'all will, and the attractiveness level. Because there have been some people where I'm like, she looks scary. He looks scary. Like they don't need no makeup, and we could have a whole horror movie going on, like a whole franchise, because you're not looking at nothing else. But this gentleman didn't just stop with talking about Sydney Sweeney. And once again, whether you're listening through GCPR radio at gcpr.live, LIVE, watching on Substack and YouTube, y'all are getting the full experience. You can see the videos for itself. But if you're watching on TikTok, if you miss any parts of it, you can go to Substack or YouTube right now, or when we're finished, you can watch from the beginning. You can see the visuals for this. But I keep telling y'all, JD Vance does not have a chance in all of Hades, all right? In all of Hades and all of Purgatory. But this young man, JD had to catch the smoke too, okay? But JD he been starting fires for a while, so the smoke caught up. Take a listen.
It looks like JD Vance's dreams for 2028 might get taken down by the same formula that helped Donald Trump win a second term, because this right-wing influencer just announced that he would vote for Gavin Newsom over JD Vance in 2028, and his reasoning is unbelievably stupid. Watch.
Like this next election cycle, who's going to win? It's going to be Gavin Newsom against JD Vance, because JD Vance is subhuman and Gavin Newsom bugs.
JD Vance is subhuman?
Yeah.
What makes you say that?
He's got a very short total facial width to height ratio. He's obese, very recessed side profile, whereas Newsom is like 6'3" Chad.
You're going to pick the pro mass migrant, pro trans, pro murder the babies, pro burn the cities to the ground, pro BLM Democrat because he's skinnier than the conservative vice president.
100 times over. Yeah.
And credit to Gavin Newsom's people, because they clearly see that this is going on, because without any context, without any words, this is what they tweeted out just a few hours ago. So when I say the same formula, do you guys remember when MAGA kept saying that Trump was more energetic than Joe Biden? Now, instead of energy, these influencers are talking about looks. Same formula. No policy, no principles, just vibes and aesthetics. JD Vance might want to start worrying because he's already...
Hold on. Let's make some corrections. Okay? Because Taz Farm remembers, they didn't just use, charisma and energy. No, Trump repetitively said during this last race to POTUS Mountain that this person has the look. Let's not forget when he was describing his cabinet picks, his nominations for ambassadors. He kept talking about people having the look. Trump is also someone who's previously said that he has good genes because they're German genes. In Germany, I'm still waiting. And Germans around the world, I'm still waiting. I asked y'all a question yesterday, and I'm not being facetious. I'm being serious. Is Trump the spokesperson for y'all genes? And is that an indication of good German gene? Like, now I got a good friend. We went to primary school together. We came over here, and we ended up going to high school together also. She is German. She is an immigrant. She's also black. Okay, before y'all ask. I would say them German, Boris Koja. If you know. I say them genes is a better representation of the Deutschland. And long-time listener and participant in the GCPR family, Magpie Maggie Pie, Maggie Pie. Better German Jake, like I feel like he's the Papa John's of German jeans. Like you'll take it if you're given a whole bunch of discounts and ain't nothing else available. But you know it's not authentic and it tastes a little sweet. And you wonder about the freshness of a few of the ingredients. But yeah, once again, specifically MAGA, the MAGA faction of the GOP. And if you're wondering why I keep saying that, pointing out the MAGA faction, because the GOP since its inception has been a collection of factions. You can travel through the factions historically of the GOP over on my Substack, link in the bio. Or you can just look up Taz J on Substack. Make sure you subscribe over there. But they always preemptively think that they're protecting themselves as if what they fight for, being the rule, being the standard, cannot be applied to them. Yeah, again. Yeah, yes, you can. Yes, you can, indubitably. Now, for this last one, pretty sure y'all know about this conversation that's going around. You know, the scam going on in Minnesota, eh? And not the scam that some of y'all that might be a little problematic might be thinking about. The scam regarding the investigative journalist, and yes, air quotes are being used. And I need y'all to remember that this gentleman went to a home prom with his mother, and they have creepy pet names for one another. His mother and father were involved in a bankruptcy case because they went bankrupt due to the fines they had to pay for defrauding people. And his current scam regarding daycare centers that are Somali owned and or operated, there is a potential candidate for governor that's now taking credit for it, saying that she called him to give him the information. But he's also now claiming that this was all satire. Well, he eventually came to that claim. Take a listen.
You put up $175 billion goes a long way. This is the capital of Ukraine. You're giving me all this great context. Where's the context in that tweet?
Yeah, if you go look at all the other tweets I put out, there's a lot of context as well.
So that's backtracking because you had a massive amount of backlash from Ukrainians, rightfully. But why didn't you put that in the original tweet?
Because that wasn't the idea of the original tweet.
Do you understand why people in this country are pretty pissed off with you?
One post does not define everything I did while I was in Ukraine.
Well, I think what you were doing is to try and show that there maybe isn't a war in Ukraine. You were basically trying to ride this sort of Tim Pool grifter type wave, saying, you know, pulling silly faces, smirking at the people of this country, saying, this is where your tax dollars are going. You cannot avoid that. That is literally what you did. Everybody agrees. Everybody in the comments agrees. That's what you were doing. Why can't you admit that?
Because I do not believe by making satire on the internet commits a crime by any means. And
okay, so
going back.
This is a huge revelation. So you were actually doing satire?
In that post.
So it was satire?
Is there anything wrong with satire?
I know exactly what you were trying to do. You failed in doing it because you've received more backlash and more hate than support, and I guess now you're backpedaling.
I wouldn't say that.
What would you say then? Where did you go in East Ukraine?
I went to, isn't Bucha East Ukraine? Or I went somewhere where there was Bucha.
So Bucha is a 20-minute drive north of Kyiv. Where did you go in East Ukraine?
That's where I went. I went to Bucha. Is that not east of Ukraine?
Oh, God. It makes me despair that you've come here, you don't even know the difference between East Ukraine and somewhere that's a 20-minute drive north of Kyiv, and you've put out content that's genuinely extremely damaging. Nick Shirley came here to Ukraine and produced one of the most egregious pieces of propaganda I've seen since the start of this war. His video undermining the war and showing that apparent taxpayers' money is being wasted on luxury cars here has amassed millions of views, hundreds of thousands of comments, and it's been shared by some of the Kremlin's biggest mouthpieces. So I have an exclusive interview with Nick to find out exactly why he did this. Well, let me know when you're good.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I spoke to your fixers and they said that they took you to Bucha, where there are mass graves. They said that they took you to a hospital that was bombed. Having seen all of that, why is it that you decided for your first report to be about the luxury of Kyiv and Americans' tax dollars being wasted?
Yeah, it's a good question. Quite frankly, I'm still putting together the documentary I had. That was a clip I filmed just walking around while I was in Kyiv. And I do believe that here in the United States, there's a lot of misconceptions as far as where tax dollars are being sent. And we have the right to understand where things are going. And that by posting a video like that doesn't make me a pro-Russian by any means. By every mean, I'm very pro-Ukrainian.
Well, you're saying there's a lot of misconceptions about where the American tax dollars are going. Do you think you're adding to those misconceptions by showing a few luxury cars in the capital of this country and then pulling silly faces? Do you think you're actually adding to that?
I do not, actually. I think a lot of the times and a lot of the things that we do see in the United States, I think there are a lot of misconceptions that we see from the United States. And by putting a video like that is just showing people that as a war is still going on, people are still living a somewhat normal life there in Ukraine, and people have the right to see what's actually happening in Ukraine and Kyiv.
So why didn't you put that in the caption? Why did you just upload it with a caption saying this is where your tax dollars are going? Why didn't you add the context you're giving me now?
As far as what context?
Well, now you're basically telling me you uploaded that video because you wanted to show the world that life carries on as normal in Ukraine. But you didn't say that in the caption or the description of the video on TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter that you uploaded. So why are you only giving me this context, and why didn't you include that in the tweets?
I have included that in the tweets as well. But in that first video I put, as you know how the internet works, a one-liner often goes a lot farther than paragraphs.
Yeah, but you made that a one-liner.
Yeah, I know.
So you're saying I know how the internet works, but you're actually contributing to that.
As far as what?
So here's the caption you put up. $175 billion goes a long way. This is the capital of Ukraine. You're giving me all this great context. Where's the context in that tweet?
Yeah, if you go look at all the other tweets I put out, there's a lot of context as well.
So that's backtracking because you had a massive amount of backlash from Ukrainians, rightfully. But why didn't you put that in the original tweet?
As unfortunate as it is that once again, grifters are going to grift, I'm going to use him and Todd Blanche. Yes, Todd Blanche, the second in command at the Department of Justice, as an example for you all. This will be your litmus test of sorts. Good grifters get away with the grift and get people to staunchly back them and make excuses for them because they'll be technically telling the truth. Wait a minute, before you come at me, listen, Linda, listen, okay? Just like with Todd Blanche, a lot of times we don't ask people to define the terms that they're using, the verbiage that they're using. We are assuming that we're utilizing the same terminology in the same way. This is why I tell people to be careful when you're introduced to someone and you're introduced to them as an activist, because your brain tends to go to, oh, activists, they're standing on the right side of history. They want the same thing that I want. No, not necessarily. So it's better to ask clarifying questions. Just like Todd Blanche is like, yeah, we're trying to protect the victims. Nobody has asked Todd Blanche who the victims are. Just like nobody's asking this young man, what is context? What do you view context as being? And do you believe that you should be open and honest with every post? And he said, in the United States, we tend to get things from one lens. And even this interviewer didn't say, so is that what you're doing? We have to stop assuming, and we have to stop putting ourselves and our perspectives and our lived experience into every situation. Everybody hasn't lived the way that we've lived. Everybody doesn't view things the way that we view things. It's DoorDash girl all over again. Because how many people, think about it, to this day still want to put DoorDash girl as the victim, because when you ask them why, they're telling you about what happened to them. Instead of them asking clarifying questions and looking at things objectively. Because the actual fraud that took place in Minnesota, already investigated. People have already stood trial. People have already been prosecuted, convicted, and sentenced. And the ringleader that was forcing people to do it, and the whistleblowers were Somali Americans, people are now making excuses for this woman. Why? Because you have a white man who's cisgendered, who is technically being honest in accordance to how he's defining the verbiage that he's using. And also, I hope that gives you all clarification when you listen to the interviews that I conduct, or when you see me in comment sections and I'm asking people to define what they mean when they use certain words. I'm not being facetious. I'm not being nitpicky. I'm not being mean. You got to make sure that you are on one accord when talking to people, because let's not forget, definitions are more or less suggestions. Think of it as how most of y'all take the speed limits on the roads. Okay? But words have multiple definitions. You may be using a word under the guise of a singular definition. And y'all should have already figured this out, as much as people want to argue about the definition of racism. And the singular definition that they want to use, because it makes them more comfortable and it absolves them from the long-standing impact and that's placed on others, and the comfort and protection that it gives them. Mm-hmm. Because not enough people are asking, if the whole point is to expose daycare centers, how did someone with no children, no knowledge of how daycare centers work, stumble upon this story? Number one. Number two, if that is the goal, how and when did this person get merch so quickly? And why is the merch geared towards one particular daycare center? And here's the kicker. Here's the biggest thing that I really want y'all to take in and really mull over and rectify finally in 2026, okay? Why is it so easy to believe a lie with no proof? You need to take a look at and tackle your inherent biases. Sometimes you just don't like somebody because you feel like they're living the life that you think that you should be living. And 9 times out of 10, that person ain't nowhere close to the life you done created for them inside your head. Now, as we close out today's episode, the very first of 2026 of the Taz Effect, daily news in a way you did not know you could use, let me say something, and I want to be very, very clear about it. Don't ask me anymore after today how I feel about somebody being questioned about their criminal record, their history online, what lies they told, and what lies they got busted telling. I am amused right now by watching someone who could not reach out and speak to somebody and engaged in bullying and harassment to the point where somebody had to be temporarily institutionalized. Get upset and want to yet again rally the troops because of actual lies that they told and their inability to offer apologies. Here's a bit of advice. Things will stop resurfacing and you would stop having to address things if, one, you just come clean about what you did and apologize for it. Two, apologize to the people that you hurt and you disrespected. And people will stop bringing crap up, because there have been way too many people who have made missteps on and offline. And what I've noticed in my almost 49 rotations on this floating space rock is that when you honestly and earnestly take accountability and responsibility and start to move forward differently and start to work on yourself, you don't have to continuously address things. People will not continuously be looking into your background and making you atone for your past. They can honestly look at and see the change that you've made, and you can be inspirational in that manner, because we're all human. We're not perfect. But to continuously be on the attack and act as if you have done no wrong, go screw yourself. I don't care what attachments you have. I don't care what new alliances you've made on the surface. I don't care. I don't care. Especially since you blatantly, obviously took the name of my podcast and made it the name of yours. So I don't care. Now, I will say this. Have I made mistakes in the past? Absolutely. Generally, I'm the person that'll tell you about the mistakes that I've made in the past. Because I tend to tell on myself, not because I need praise or a pat on the back. One, I'm the type of person, I want you to know what you're getting into, so to speak, when it comes to being around me, being my friend, following anything that I do, participating in anything that I put out there. I want you to know who I am. I want you to have as much information as possible, whether it's about me, a story that I'm giving, so that you can make a conscious effort to go, you know what, I can rock with that. That's something I can align with, or nah, that ain't my cup of tea. I want it to be your decision. You catch what I'm putting down? Will I make mistakes moving forward? Absolutely. Absolutely. I can be a hothead. I can be impulsive. Okay. I can think that I have the best intentions in the world and stumble, fall, bust my head, and I might bust your head too on accident. But you know what I will do? I will apologize. I will correct the behavior. So, at any point in time, those listening, regardless of where you are listening from, if you feel like I've gotten something wrong, that I've been offensive, that I've hurt you intentionally or not, please let me know. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get upset. I was told in a meeting a few weeks ago that, no joke, that somebody thought that I was anti-white. Now, I was able to sit down and have a conversation with that person. And I, at first, did not understand where they got that assessment from. And then I did. And I realized they were not getting my content from the source. They saw me once a week on one show, and they were getting stitched and highly edited clips of my work. So we talked it out, we worked it out. But no, you will never catch me acting as if I am perfection personified, because I'm not. When I say we're on this journey together, I mean that. We are on this journey together. I'm still anti-white. Michael Pruitt, sir. And Michael Pruitt in the house, the winner of the 2025 My Name is Caesar Bitch Award. Mr. Michael Pruitt. And for those of you all that are not familiar with that award, that is for badassery, someone who goes above and beyond to do what's best for the sake of community and is able to build a community that is completely fortified. And I will say I am honored to call Mr. Pruitt a friend. It's more like a fairy godfather at this point, because that man is magical. But yeah. When I say we're on this journey to learn together, that's what I mean. I got some information, you got some information. I got an area of expertise, you got an area of expertise. Let's put it all together in a pot, mix it up, and serve it out to each other. I wasn't made to answer to that. I wanted to sit down and have the conversation. The information was given to me so that I would know, when in this person's presence, how they were viewing me. And I do appreciate that. I don't like to be in the dark. And the person who gave me the information knows that about me. So they're like, hey, you're going to be in this person's presence. I want you to know this is the thought pattern that they're carrying around about you. I approached this person and was like, hey, let's talk about it. I want to know why you why you feel this way. That's just me. That's just me. I want to know. I want to sit down and I want to have that conversation. And I know that people who know me get frustrated regarding the conversations that I am willing to have, the conversations that I do have with people. But keep in mind, my podcast has been named Conversations with Taz for 6-7 years now, because that's what I do. I have the conversation, whether somebody is up on a panel with me or we're talking like we're talking now, whether it's callers calling in, commenters commenting, we're going to have these conversations. Let's talk about it. I am a better person today, and I am the person that I am because of all the conversations I've had along the way. Like I said, part of my research is talking to people. You know, I want to know. Now, are there people who are like, oh, I don't think that you like me? Yeah, sometimes I don't. And I'll tell you, I don't. You can be offended, but there are people walking around that can't stand me. Okay. Oh, okay. I know I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, because some people like just plain water, room temperature. That ain't me, baby. That ain't me. Okay. I got a whole lot of razzle dazzle up in here. Okay. I'm definitely a spiked drink. All right. All right. Okay. And a sparkly pink bedazzled martini glass. Okay. And come to think of it, I need to find me a new martini glass. No, dude, am I a big martini drinker? No. Okay. I just like pretty glasses, if y'all haven't figured out, those that can see me. And I'll drink anything out of it. Out of a former mother-in-law who, whoa, I didn't realize she thought that I was a lush, because I had this beveled plastic pink. It was like a deep, rich pink wine glass that I would put everything in and drink, honey. It made me feel good. Okay. If I was having a bad day, baby, everything was going in there. Okay. Everything. And it was thick enough that I could make a cup of coffee, put it in and drink my coffee. If I wanted some juice, everything was going in there because it made me feel pretty. Okay. I believe whatever makes you feel good and gets you through this thing called life, get it, honey. Get it. And if people want to put commentary behind it, and okay. Because one thing for certain, two things for sure. The people who talk to you the least have the most to say about you. They act like they are the utmost expert on you. The people that you spend the least amount of time on, the ones that can barely say what your first name is, and maybe name one or two relatives of yours or a half of a friend of yours from the third grade, got the most to say about you. Well, like, I'm quick to be like, yeah, even with relatives. Because I had somebody the other day message me on Facebook asking about a relative of mine, like where they work. And I said, honey, I don't know. Like last time we had a semblance of a conversation, I think we were 10 years old. And there's no bad blood. We just ain't lived close to each other since then. And when we are every so often around each other, we don't really have any shared interest, which is fine. It is fine. It is okay not to vibe with everybody. It is okay not to have everything in common with everybody, even when you're related. And it is okay to be like, I don't know. I don't know. There was a period of time, one of my brothers, I couldn't tell you where he worked at. But my brothers and I, we don't really talk about employment when we get together. And I thought about that. And the only reason I had thought about like where he worked is because I needed to do a reference letter for him. And I had to call him like, okay, I know I agreed to do this reference, but I need some information, bro. Like, we don't talk about it. Once again, no bad blood. None whatsoever. Those that know me in real life know that any given day, you can see me hanging out or on the phone with one of my brothers. Babe done told y'all. He done sat there and heard me and my brothers on the phone, and he look at us like, what is wrong with y'all? Why y'all talk to each other? Why did that become the topic of conversation? We'll talk about anything under the sun, baby. But stuff like that, no. And that's fine. That's fine. All right? All right, all right, all right. Okay. Now, that does it for today's episode of the Taz Effect. I'm gonna jump back on here. We'll say 8 Eastern, 7 Central. We'll jump back on here. We'll chit chat. Let's do a group combo. Yeah. So if anybody wants to jump up in the box with me, plan on doing it there. All right. We'll do that. Love you. Oodles, sniper. And yes, next week I will be getting with the powers that be, because I do have some researchers to help me. So I'll be sitting down with them. I will be firmly scheduling the part 2 regarding the advocacy for Carmelo Anthony and all that good stuff. So no worries. Do not forget, I am doing all this stuff and in the process of moving state to state. So give your girl a little grace, but we're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna push through this. All right. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. See y'all in a little bit.